Crisis alerts hit phones across Europe as air defenses light up and embassies push emergency notices. Trains pause, flights reroute, and leaders speak in clipped sentences that avoid one word. Let's walk through what nuclear war in Europe would actually look like. A nuclear break in Europe would most likely start as a problem that leaders think they can manage. A battlefield situation turns desperate. A key air base is hit, and the attacker claims it was conventional, while the defender believes it was meant to cripple the response. A strike damages early warning radar or command links, and suddenly, both sides fear they are being blinded. Another path is a warning shot that is meant to force talks, like a low-yield weapon used on a military target to prove resolve. Escalation does not require a villain pressing a red button for fun. It can grow from fear of losing deterrence, rushed decision windows, and broken communication. If leaders think their launch forces might be destroyed, they may feel pressure to act first. If hotlines fail or are distrusted, signals cannot be clarified. In that atmosphere, the first things to collapse are trust, verification, and time. Before any blast, ordinary people notice stress before they understand the cause. Sirens and phone alerts become frequent. Road closures appear near ports, airfields, and border crossings. Trains stop or run half schedules because rail hubs are treated as targets. Airports shut lanes of airspace and push flights onto long detours. Stores fill with people buying water, bread, canned food, and baby supplies. Pharmacies see sudden demand for common medicines. At the same time, governments move quietly. Senior leaders relocate. Military aircraft disperse to smaller airfields. Air defenses change posture. Some cities activate civil protection plans and open limited shelters, even if they avoid using the word nuclear in public. Misinformation explodes in the gaps. Old combat videos get reposted as live. Fake shelter maps circulate. Rumors claim the next strike is already confirmed, pushing people into unsafe evacuation. The information fog becomes part of the threat. If a nuclear weapon is launched or detonated, the first minutes are about confirmation and control. Radar tracks are checked against known missile profiles. Satellites watch for launch plumes and bright flashes. Command centers compare sensor data because false alarms are possible, yet delay can be fatal. Leaders are briefed in blunt terms because a second strike could be incoming. How much warning a city gets depends on the delivery method. Short-range systems near a border can mean only minutes. Longer-range missiles can offer slightly more time, but not enough for a calm drive across town. In many places, you will not have time to leave. If you get a credible alert, you go inside immediately. Get away from windows. Glass injuries are common among survivors. Choose the lowest, most central room available. A basement is best. If you do not have one, pick an interior room on the lowest floor, like a hallway, bathroom, or closet. Grab essentials fast. Water, a flashlight, a phone charger, a small first aid kit, and daily medication. Close doors. Draw curtains. Keep pets close. If dust is already in the air, treat the entryway as a dirty zone. Shoes off. Outer layers bagged, hands washed. The classic mistake is rushing to a car. Roads clog, and you end up trapped in open streets near glass and bridges. Another mistake is watching from a window. Curiosity turns into injury. In the first hour, the blast zone is only one piece. Beyond it, the wider region feels shockwaves in systems. Power flickers as grids try to protect themselves. Cell networks overload as millions call at once. Trains and metros pause due to damage, caution, or loss of power. Emergency lines jam, and responders move into triage, choosing which calls can be reached. If it is a single tactical strike, the physical destruction may be limited to one base or one city area, but panic spreads across borders. Parents pull children from schools. People crowd fuel stations. Markets drop hard. Governments issue alerts that may sound careful because they are trying to prevent mass movement into unknown danger. Your best move is to stay sheltered while facts stabilize. If you are inside, stay inside. Reduce exposure by sealing drafts with towels or tape. Conserve battery by texting instead of calling. Pick one out of the area contact and send short updates, because local networks may fail while long-distance routes still work. Start a family check-in plan on paper. Who is home, who is away, and where they should go if travel is impossible. Under stress, memory slips. If you are near the impact area but outside the main damage, you may hear a deep thump, then a wave of broken alarms. Smoke can drift far, and fine debris can settle on cars and sidewalks. Treat that dust as harmful until proven otherwise. If you have to move within your building, keep it simple. Move to the lowest interior space, bring water, and stay put. The goal in this hour is not perfect information. It is reducing injuries and exposure while the picture becomes clearer. The psychological reality is loud. Disbelief looks like arguing. Denial looks like going outside to film. Fear looks like frantic calls, then silence when lines drop. Fallout depends on use and wind, not just weapon size. An airburst can maximize blast and reduce local fallout. A ground burst can pull soil and debris into a rising cloud, creating contaminated dust that falls downwind. The weather can change the plume hour by hour. That uncertainty is why early movement can backfire. If you do not know the plume direction, driving can put you into the worst zone. Roads become traps. Fuel may be unavailable. Tunnels and underpasses can collect dust. Even if you escape the blast area, you can expose your family to contaminated air and surfaces. So you shelter first. Close windows. Shut vents if you can. Seal obvious drafts. Use a radio if available, because it can work when data networks fail. Track official guidance, and also look for local confirmation from emergency services and utility updates. If someone must come in from outside, treat it like contamination control. Shoes off, outer clothing bagged, skin rinsed with soap and water. Avoid questionable water, especially from open containers outside. Keep children away from doorways and floors near entries where dust can settle. As day one continues, hospitals become the bottleneck. Burns and trauma arrive in waves. Ambulances cannot reach many zones. Doctors prioritize who can be saved with limited staff and supplies. Emergency services focus on fires, trapped survivors, and keeping roads open for critical vehicles. Fuel rationing can begin quickly, even far from ground zero. Supplies are reserved for repair crews, hospitals, and security. Grid instability spreads across borders because networks are linked. Areas untouched by the blast can still lose power for hours, then longer. Your household goals are simple. Protect water. If taps still run and there is no contamination warning, fill clean containers. If pressure drops, treat stored water as precious. Shift to a basic food plan. Eat what spoils first, then move to shelf-stable meals. Keep cooking simple. Keep hygiene steady, because sickness in a crisis is dangerous. Keep a small cash stash separate from your wallet if you can, because ATMs and card readers may fail. If you have a car, do not assume gas will be available tomorrow. Top off only if it can be done calmly and safely, not in a fight at a station. For sanitation, line a trash bin with a heavy bag and add absorbent material if plumbing stops. Store soap and wipes where they are easy to reach. Small hygiene steps reduce disease when clinics are overwhelmed. Inventory medications and write doses down. Avoid waste. If you need refrigerated medicine, plan for cool storage and follow official guidance about aid sites. Emotionally, fear spikes. Families argue about leaving. Neighbors trade rumors. Stay calm, speak plainly, and avoid promises you cannot keep. If this helps you stay calm and realistic, subscribe and share it with someone you care about. NATO would face 3 broad response options. One is conventional retaliation, striking launch sites, air defenses, and command nodes, while trying to keep the nuclear line unbroken. Another is a limited nuclear reply, matched in scale to restore deterrence. The third is a pause for de-escalation through back channels, while forces remain ready. Leaders may hesitate because uncontrolled escalation is the central fear. Once both sides exchange nuclear blows, pressure to keep climbing can become automatic. Public order also becomes a security mission. A panicked society cannot support rescue, repair, or defense. Public order measures can include curfews, travel limits, emergency broadcasting, and resource controls. Some areas set checkpoints to keep roads clear for medical movement and repairs. Guidance may change as information improves, so your plan must be flexible without turning frantic. By days 2 and 3, movement becomes the biggest visible problem. Border crossings are jammed, shelters fill, rail systems struggle with power loss, damage, and crowd pressure. Some people who stayed now face forced relocation because services cannot be restored. Supply chains slow down hard. Food deliveries become irregular. Pharmacies run out of basics. Cash demand spikes when card systems are unreliable. If power is intermittent, refrigeration fails and food spoils. In cold weather, heating becomes critical for older people. You respond with routines. Ration calmly. Avoid crowds where tension and illness spread. Keep phone use to a minimum and rely on verified updates. Use the 2-source rule. If a claim cannot be confirmed by an official channel and a local trusted source, do not act on it. Do not chase rumors about safe corridors without proof. Do not confront stressed strangers. Leave early if a place feels unstable. If relocation becomes necessary, move only with a clear destination, verified route, and enough fuel to avoid being stranded. By the end of the first week, daily life becomes a patchwork. Some areas regain partial power and water, others remain dark. Mobility stays limited. Schools stay closed. Work shifts toward emergency tasks and basic care. Local rule sets vary by region. Checkpoints appear near critical infrastructure. Restricted zones limit access to contaminated or damaged areas. Aid corridors move supplies under protection. At home, sanitation is a priority. Manage trash, prevent pests, and keep a clean area for food. Cooperate with neighbors, but keep boundaries. Share information and small help if you can, without advertising full inventories. Protect documents in a waterproof bag, including IDs, medical records, and key contacts on paper. Even if no other warheads fall, the world shakes. Markets seize as investors rush into safety. Energy prices swing because pipelines, ports, and shipping routes are treated as fragile. Aviation routes change, adding time and cost. Shipping slows as insurers pull coverage and ports tighten checks. Refugee pressure rises along Europe's edges, creating political stress in nearby regions. Disinformation campaigns intensify, aiming to split alliances and trigger unrest. Expansion risk is not only more nukes. It can include cyber attacks on grids and banking, sabotage on rail lines, and covert strikes on critical infrastructure. For Americans watching, the effects could be higher energy costs, supply delays, and elevated cyber warnings. Diplomatically, every capital will push for hotlines, verification, and ceasefire windows, even while preparing for the worst. Stock markets may halt trading. Some countries may impose export controls on fuel, grain, or medical supplies. That makes shortages feel global, not local, within days. And it raises pressure on governments to restore stability fast before panic spreads further. The emotional curve tends to follow a pattern. Shock first. Then, when people try to regain control. Then, exhaustion, when sleep disappears. After that comes adaptation, when routines return and communities rebuild small order. Misinformation management becomes a daily job. Use the two-source rule. Look for municipal alerts, utility updates, and trusted local reporting. Do not share rumors as just in case. In a crisis, that habit can drive people into danger. To keep your household steady, break tasks into short blocks. Water, food, cleanliness, rest. Use calm language, because children and anxious adults mirror tone. Protect sleep whenever you can, because tired people make risky choices. Nuclear war in Europe is not only about blast zones on a map. It is a system collapse and fast decision loops. Leaders make choices with incomplete information, and civilians must survive while power, water, transport, and truth degrade at once. Preparedness is not panic. It is shelter, knowledge, water, a simple communications plan, and steady routines. You cannot control when a crisis begins. You can control your next actions. Move inside, avoid glass, conserve essentials, and verify before you move. Nuclear war is rare because everyone fears it, yet misreads still happen. Preparedness is not panic. It is shelter, water, calm communication, and disciplined choices when time is short.